allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call.
Alderman Bovee.
Here.
Alderman Gerardo.
Here.
Alderman Franklin. Here. Alderman Costello.
Here.
To approve the agenda. Mayor, I'd like to make a motion to approve the agenda with the following amendments. One is the resolution to clarify engineering fees. Another is to approve the fund request number 1 for sewer project. Number 3 is to discuss the hiring of a city clerk, procedures, and the meeting dates. And the other one is to remove the closed session on the agenda.
Second.
Mr. Mayor,
Motion been made and second.
I have a comment. We're not allowed discussion before I vote.
I think I need to see. I kind of like to hear it myself anyhow.
Okay. As far as our own ordinances, it says the time and date of our meetings. It doesn't say anywhere in the ordinance that the meeting can be changed by a vote of 3 aldermen. Clerk Dunsey told me that it was approved by 3 aldermen, so it could be done. I'd like to see the ordinance that says that we're authorized to do that.
Missouri law says the board is the only one that can change ordinance, action of an ordinance on something, you go back to some other law. But the board is the only one that can change the regular meeting. Majority of the board has to vote, 3 aldermen voted for it. I did not call you because you will not answer the phone when I call you.
You didn't try to call me?
I know, I told you a long time ago, I will never try to call you because I tried and tried, I got witnesses. They come in here and want me to dial the phone and you won't answer, and we know you're home. I will never call you.
You cannot
And
provide.
we're going to do it, the motion been made and seconded.
You cannot provide proof that we're allowed to do this. We're violating this.
You violate it now, and I tell you that's it. The motion been made, been seconded, you know how to go about. If you think we're wrong, you know who to call and what to do. In my opinion, the board can change the date of a regular meeting. Majority of the board voted to do it, and we did it.
It's not by our own ordinance.
That's
It's a
it.
violation.
Motion been made and seconded, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Aye.
So it's closed. That's what you gotta do. That's what we do. Nobody signed up on the public forum. And the motion to approve the consent agenda.
Make a motion to approve the consent agenda.
I second it.
Can we have discussion?
No, motion been made and seconded, vote for it.
I would like to.
Motion made and second, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Aye. I want to know what these bills are. Why are we paying $14,100
You had them
to
for a
highway
week.
patrol? They're approving it.
You had them for a week when you coming at the clerk. Keep your campaign outside.
This isn't campaigning, this is
Yes,
city
it is.
business. It's tax
Yes, it
dollars
is.
being spent. I want to know why we're paying $14,100 to the highway patrol.
He could have called you and asked you. No, we're gonna move on. He's not gonna stop the board from acting. He knows how to get over to you and ask if he got questions. That's why he gets them a week in advance, so we can discuss, you can discuss it with him,
Meetings are
then we
for to
can move
discuss
on.
it. Meetings are to discuss it.
You know how to go, if you don't like the way I run the meeting, you know how to do it. New business, ordinance number 888.
Mayor, I'd like to make a motion to have the first reading of bill number 888 by title only.
Motion made, and seconded, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Right here. Somebody got a copy of 888, she can do that now.
Yes, ma'am, I sure do.
I got it here somewhere.
There's copies available on the counter.
Bill number 888. authorize the mayor on behalf of the city of St. Mary, Missouri to borrow funds in the amount of $3,000 and to enter into agreement with the St. Mary Chamber of Commerce.
Mayor, I make a motion for a second reading.
Second.
Motion made, second, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Bill number 888, an ordinance authorizing the mayor on behalf of the city of St. Mary, Missouri to borrow funds in the amount of $3,000 and to enter into an agreement with said St. Mary Chamber of Commerce.
We allow discussion?
Yeah.
Okay.
Wait a minute, till the motion made to adopt, and then you, when we get a second, then we discuss it, just like we're supposed to. Motion to adopt, motion for it to adopt.
Motion to adopt.
Just second it.
Discussion?
Yes. On this interest-free loan, which I think is great, it says that it will be paid back upon sale of the previous police car. And we had discussed about getting the sealed bids, and you said if they weren't enough, then you'd sell it on your lot like you had in the past. And the city of St. Genevieve and the sheriff's department have agreement with John Stuckey where he hauls them up for auction at no charge and gets the most for it. We wouldn't have to pay to put an ad in the paper and get sealed bids. And we have it done, taken care of, and you can verify with the other agencies if they're satisfactory with his free service.
Have you ever been to one of them?
I have not.
I do. You know what it costs to run through? You can advertise for what it costs to run through. And then it's wholesalers that are buying only. Now, why can you object to getting the best buy whenever we can't get the good bids? If we get good enough bids, no. It costs you, they don't run them cars through there for free, no matter what you think. If it can cost as much as $400, $500 to sell a car up there. I go every week almost. I'm a licensed dealer. And it may sound good to you because you don't know them there. And some of the sheriff departments, they ain't got time to deal with it and big enough that they can go. We got one car. And with the last one, it worked fine. We got a decent price out of it. We didn't get it on the bid, then you probably ain't gonna get it on the bid this time. We do, we'll take it. You'll have a chance to vote on that. But you don't want to take it up there, one car, and run it through one, and he did it, I know where you're going to take it to, IA. I know what they sell for. I know what the fees are. Every $500 they go up. If I buy a car for $500, I pay $150 buyer's fee.
It's going to be auctioned at the highest bidder instead of people submitting bids, trying to get it.
Yes, but the one that's bidding on it only buys wholesale to sell, like I'm fixing to do for the car, to somebody else. They're not buying it to drive, they're buying it to retail and make money off of it. That's a wholesale auction. Now, do you want to take it to a wholesale auction and accept what they give? Or you want to pay stupid to take it up there and reject it
He's
and
doing
pay
it for
rejection
free.
fee?
He's doing it at no charge like he does for the city and county. And
I haul it up there for free. I go up there all the time, no problem. But you don't want to do it. Why would you want to sell to a wholesaler? Hell, I'll buy it wholesale. I go up there and buy it. And I'm going to bring it down here and put it on the lot and get out of it what it's worth. You know, everything sounds good, but if you investigate half this stuff, it's not near as good as it sounds. But now if you're a big department, you got 40 or 50 cars, they do it like this. Or you do it like the state children.
I don't agree, but I was giving you an option.
And I gave you my opinion. Now, if the board wants to take your advice or my advice.
We can't vote on it because it's not on the agenda.
You talked about it ain't on the agenda.
We're talking
You
about,
talked about that police car that's not on the agenda.
we're talking about a loan that
But
has
you
to
can
be
sit there and
repaid.
discuss your part of it for 30 minutes, but you say you can't vote.
It wasn't 30 minutes.
As far as I'm concerned, we done made the resolution of what we're going to do, and let the board change it, that's what we're going to do. It's like we've always done. Sure hurts you to be wrong, don't it?
I don't think I'm wrong.
Right. You got any more questions on 888?
No, sir.
Motion made, second, all in favor?
Aye.
Roll call.
Roll call, yeah.
Alderman Bove,
Aye.
Alderman Gerardo,
Aye.
Alderman Pasu,
Aye.
Alderman Franklin. Aye.
Motion passed. Bill number 889.
Copy of these are made available.
888 copy over.
There's 2 copies here. That's all I have to put out by law. And they've been here all week. Bill number 889. An ordinance authorizing. Okay,
We
go
gotta
ahead.
make the motion first.
All right.
I'd like to make a motion that bill number 889 be read by title only.
Second.
Motion made, second, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
An ordinance authorizing the issuance of $325,000 principal amount combined waterworks and sewer system revenue bond, Series C, of the city of St. Mary, Missouri, describing the form and details of said bond and the covenants and agreements to provide for the payment and security thereof, and authorizing certain actions and documents and describing other matters relating thereto.
Motion for second reading.
Mayor, I make a motion for a second reading by title only.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Bill number 889, an ordinance authorizing the issuance of $325,000 principal amount combined waterworks and sewer system revenue bond, Series C, of the city of St. Mary, Missouri, describing the form and details of said bond and the covenants and agreements to provide for the payment and security thereof, and authorizing certain actions and documents and describing other matters relating thereto.
Motion to adopt.
Look at-
I make a motion to adopt bill number 889.
Second.
Any questions? Roll call.
Alderman Franklin.
Aye.
Alderman Pasu.
Aye.
Alderman Gerardo.
Aye.
Alderman Bove.
Aye.
Oh, let's see, resolution for tax exempt financing compliance procedure for the city.
I want to explain to the board and everyone else here that this resolution is a new resolution that the IRS recommends that anyone who has tax exempt bonds have to pass this procedure. Our bonding agency has requested that we do this. He said, if you don't, then you're just asking for a federal audit. I don't think the city can afford another audit. So anyway, the bond is part of the bond ordinance and going to comply with IRS recommendations. I do not have to read this, all I need for the board to do is adopt it.
I make a motion to adopt a resolution for approving tax exemption financing compliance procedure for the city of St. Mary.
Second.
Motion made and second, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, number 4, resolution engineer fees.
This wasn't posted on the agenda 24 hours in advance.
No, we amended the agenda.
We had the agenda to add this to it.
We've already approved the addendum 1. This is just a resolution defining and clarifying the fees that are charged by the engineering firm.
Yeah, USDA.
We've already approved it. This is just a resolution which is added to the addendum to clarify what the fees are for.
Next time we make a motion in second, and then we'll discuss. Okay,
That was my fault.
okay, that's all right. It comes out the same, but we got to follow it.
I jumped again. It was my fault.
Okay, you need a motion for,
I make a motion to pass the resolution.
Second.
motion made and second. Any questions? All in favor? Opposed?
Aye.
Approved?
Because I really didn't get to look at it till just now, so
That's up to you.
no advance notice.
You,
It wasn't published, so the public would know that we were doing this.
I'm gonna say one thing on it, then we're gonna move on. It don't change no fee, it don't change no money. And all it does is break it down to how he charged. It's the same thing he voted on, but now it's broke down in plain English of how he did it. Now, let's move on to the next one. Approve funding request.
I have a resolution here that's based upon our loans that we're going to close here after a while. I'd like to see you pass that today. I assume that's all been discussed
Do I have it?
a long time ago.
Do I have it? Was it in there, when we amended our agenda? No, I can't do it. If you had told me before the meeting started, we could have amended our agenda to do it. Now I can't.
I think I failed to probably get that to you. I don't think you passed that resolution.
Which is,
It's a long resolution, for $325,000 is to the SDA.
what we do is get in a ringer. But to be quite honest, it probably ain't 100% legal. And it probably ain't 100% illegal neither. You know, I don't know.
Well, I just figured those are things that you voted on and
Well, yeah, it's all been voted on and approved, it's just a resolution.
More than dice for the
Well,
city.
we think right now, well, we'd have to act that one in. Right now, we have to act on number 5 as it stands, and I made a motion and second.
You can't do it now.
Probably should. We can do it. We can always, before we leave here, if it's legal, you're gonna do some research on it. And find out, right now, what we're doing on number 5, approval of the funding request. Frank, Dan, they'll hold the project up for another month.
Okay. Funding.
Did we have a,
I have it in your packet that I gave you just a few minutes ago.
Which is this?
It's funding from Charlie Ray's office for engineering fees and.
Oh, yeah.
Reimbursement to the city also, Joanne, for all your costs that have been out to date.
Approval of drawdown, first drawdown. Mayor, I make a motion that we approve the first drawdown for the funding fees for engineering and city fees.
we got a motion and second.
Is this on the amended agenda or?
Yes.
That's, yeah, that's on the amendment.
Did we get a second?
I second it.
Motion made and seconded, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Aye.
You don't want it to pay a bill. Okay. Discuss hiring procedure for the city clerk.
Mayor,
Being you the board president,
I make a motion that we assign a committee to review applications and qualifications for city clerk and report to the board, appointed by the mayor. So, you appoint who you want to.
I would like for Joanne to be a part of that. She's more qualified to help me. If you got 20 of them, probably half of them be thrown out because of qualifications, schooling, or resume don't But when you get it down to a workable number, and the board should be able to, but without her, she knows the qualifications, 10 times better than myself.
We discussed that.
Huh?
We discussed that before.
Yeah, I thought,
Yeah.
and I thought we agreed to that, but, we got a motion now, so we'll act on it.
I'd like to discuss other options. Would be, instead of, when you guys put an ad in the papers advertising it, and the board hadn't discussed it or authorized the expenditure, but we needed,
It's been in 2 papers.
but that expenditure was not authorized by the board. And
Well, it was authorized to put it in the paper, we discussed it.
We
You
didn't
can't come
discuss
up
it, we
with
didn't vote on
something
it.
new.
And
Everything that we do gets voted on when you pay the bill. Every bill that's made is not voted on, but till it comes time to pay for it. Do you authorize everything we go out and buy this month? No, you vote towards pay it or not.
if we
And
budget,
that'll come up to be paid next month.
we didn't budget for it.
Oh,
We're not supposed
you
to-
didn't budget
we're not
for the
supposed to
clerk
have
to leave. But when the
expenditures.
budget gets low, we'll adjust it by law. They'll be adjusted by law whenever the budget gets out of bounds. You don't budget for everything. We had a piece of place on, break on the police car last month. We didn't budget for it, but we fixed it. But it didn't break the budget, so we didn't have to amend the budget.
We had
And we're
budgeted-
gonna have things that happen in the office, and we will spend it. If we go over the budget, then we will amend the budget.
We had budgeted
And before we do
1,000.
it,
We budgeted 1,000,
on what?
the police car,
Yeah,
and we're borrowing 300 to pay for it, 3,000 to pay for it.
that's right.
But back to the clerk position, as I pointed out, the city of Bloomsdale is only open on Wednesday. The same person's the collector, treasurer, and clerk. And I understand the collector is a separate position. The clerk, treasurer in Bloomsdale doesn't get a commission on the water department and sewer, on collecting on the water and sewer. But it would be more feasible for the city, instead of hiring and training an extra person.
We're not Bloomsdale, and we don't, you just seen the
You're
order,
not
tell
allowing
us to do
me
it.
to
I
discuss.
got a motion and a second, end the discussion.
There's no motion and
Make a
second.
motion to end the discussion.
You're gonna censor me. It says in ordinance 690 that the mayor is to allow each alderman to have a
Now,
discussion.
whenever you start rambling and
I'm
rambling,
not rambling. I'm trying to
you're
make a
trying to tell
discussion.
me
You keep
that
interrupting.
Bloomsdale does the 8 hours a week, they're a clerk, we spend more than 8 hours a week chasing down your stuff.
I didn't say 8 hours a week. I said part-time,
You said you
one
wanted 8
person,
hours.
instead of having an additional person to train, that extra cost. If we could train one person to do the job, we would be lowering our overhead and be able to spend the city's tax dollars more wisely if we were
Yeah.
Excuse me.
to go.
Hold it, just a second,
Excuse
Dennis, Joanne's gonna answer it.
I just want to say one thing, and then I'll let Joanne
So
talk.
how about me telling you can, ask me, can you address it?
Can I address the?
Yeah, go ahead. We gotta get back.
Our
on
audit said
like
that
that, don't you?
we don't separate enough of our duties now, and now you want to cut one out and put one doing all the jobs when we're already in violation of our audit, when they said that we should have more than one person doing the job.
Well, that's what we
That's all
have.
I'm saying. Now,
Yeah.
I said it, now Joanne, you say what you say, I'm sorry.
Okay. Yeah, kind of.
Yeah.
That's what I wanted to bring up. Segregation of duties. And that's one thing we've always been in violation of. And in our audit findings, we said that if the position changed and we were to have more people here, then we could have segregation of duties. Your collector's job is an elected position.
Right.
So you're wanting the collector to do everything, right?
No,
But who do you want to do this job?
I'm saying one person, just as you, to be clerk and treasurer.
Okay,
And then
that's
you
not
can
segregation.
still be the court clerk every other month. You want to retire.
No, excuse me. I am not going to continue as court clerk. I have made that quite clear. Okay,
You're staying on as treasurer.
I said I would stay and help as treasurer, excuse me. So, but what are you wanting to put together with what?
I'm saying if we go through manpower and we go through other revenues to find one person that's, it could be an accountant, a legal assistant, somebody that has some expertise that's looking for work that can be trained to handle the clerk and treasurer position.
You have to separate those two. That's two that we definitely violation of, because I'm checking my own self, which I'm not supposed to be doing. That's why I agreed to stay on as treasurer, because somebody should be checking the clerk's work. And you know, I did that before, and I agreed to do it, and we had an auditor, that accountant out of Farmington, that checked all my work. And I only agreed to do this part-time, that's why I never brought it up again, but you definitely don't want to be doing that, Frank. I hate to tell you that, but you don't want to be doing that. And you don't want somebody that's elected. And if you want to hire somebody with a lot of expertise, they're going to want more than we pay. I'm sorry. That's one of the reasons why this position is hard to fill. You don't pay enough money for what the job pay for this work. I'm sorry.
City of Bloomsdale can do it.
Well, I'm sorry, but that's not right. Should we?
They've been doing it.
Got a motion on the board and a second, all in favor?
Who seconded? I'm sorry.
I don't know who seconded.
Who made the motion?
Dennis made the motion. Okay,
Motion made, there, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Aye.
That makes me know it's right. Okay, let's see. When did she come back with?
We can pass the resolution.
We can match the resolution. We can pass all these, but you can. Okay,
Go ahead.
there's a resolution, according to our attorney, we can pass this resolution. Do I need to amend the agenda to do it?
Yes.
So I need a motion to amend the agenda to pass the resolution of
Of the loan resolution.
what?
A loan resolution.
Along with, oh, okay. Take the money we borrowed for the sewer project.
Mayor, I make a motion to amend the approved agenda to include the loan resolution that rural development is requiring us to pass.
Motion made and seconded.
Just a, just a.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Okay, we make copies for the board.
Now, we just made a motion to put it on the agenda. Now we gotta have a motion to amend the agenda to pass it.
To pass it, once she gets copies. We don't want to do that until she makes copies.
When's April gonna be here? I don't know when April gonna get it. Get out of politics.
Can you give us a brief rundown of what this is, basically?
Sure. And is this bond resolution, did you close that already, or is that something that you had on your books? It's basically the same loan. Those are rural developments forms, of the loan resolution that's required, I guess, by state statute for you to enter into a loan. So basically, that's what you're doing, and that's for the city sewer system that you're working on.
Everybody have a chance to look at it over real good?
Same thing you voted on, and just adopting the resolution.
Mayor, I make a motion that we adopt the loan resolution presented to us by Rural Development.
Good.
Made second, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? That's for that. Okay, moving right along. Fire department, Chief Barnett had a death in the family, he's out of town, so I think Frankie's gonna give a report.
We had, our trucks broke down on us. We had an alternator go out on us. We replaced the alternator, and we had an oil pressure gauge and a temp gauge go out on us. We had to replace that too on our panel. Then we turned around and Mark in the city donated the firelights from the old car and the siren to the fire department, and we went ahead and put it on 41, and the siren in 41. And then we had 2 grants that we applied for, conservation grant and the wholesome grant for St. John County. We got half the grant for conservation and the full grant for the wholesome plan. And then we had 3 call-outs, and that's basically it.
Thank you, Frankie.
And the call-outs were to,
And we had two call-outs on 61, and then 1 call-out for mutual aid for St. John. So that's the only thing I can tell you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Police department,
Well, as you know, we do have the new car, new used car. We got the grant. I'm gonna thank everybody involved in helping make that possible. I did ask for and receive 3 bids on graphics for the police car. I'd like to go with the lowest bid with the board's approval. The lowest one came in at $285, company out of Perryville.
I guess we ain't going to doesn't take the lowest bid, we asked him to do it, he did, and he reported back.
Right.
and we don't get a copy of the bids?
He did it. 2 of them, one of them refused to send it, he did it verbally, and 2 of them we got here. And one of them, he did it verbally, but never sent it back.
I'll read it to you and then I'll give it to you later. Main Street signs was, lettering on a cop car, $377.50. Install the design, $225, for a total estimate of $602.50. Your graphics, this is the lower one. Lettering in metallic colors to blend with the car. The striping of customer's choice, $135 on the lettering and $150 on the striping for a total of $285, as the one Mark was referring to. Then he has on here that he contacted a company in Cal with the graphics in St. Genevieve. They gave him a verbal of $350, but he has not received it in writing.
And that's less than,
So we have a low bid of Real Graphics, $285.
I make a motion that the police chief be authorized to go with the lowest bidder for the police graphics.
second.
Motion made and carried, all in favor?
Aye.
Frank, I'll give that to you.
If weather permitting, it's gonna be done tomorrow, right?
Right.
Park, cemetery. Frank?
I had a question
On who?
about the park usage for the Easter extravaganza. Last year, we had to pay to use the community park. We've been doing it for 6 years. We never had to pay before. When we discussed the option of, in the ordinance, to allow people to reserve the park and pay a deposit that would include utilities, and I pointed out to you in the work session that about the Easter egg hunts, you said there would be a charge for that. Last year, we were charged, and another wasn't on record. It wasn't in the collector receipts that they were charged. I pointed it out. I never got a follow-up why it never appeared on the collector report. You said it's an elected position. She doesn't have to answer to you or the board.
Who are you saying didn't pay it?
All I know is that we had to pay it for St. Mary Community Organization for Revitalization. I never paid it. It's sponsored by the Catholic Church, then Breakfast, CMA, County Line Farms, and we've been doing it all along, and the youth group had it the week before, and Bove said he'd stake his reputation that they paid it, but I don't see the receipt that it was actually paid.
Yeah, I just checked it on that, she said it was paid last year.
It's not on the
It
treasury
was on
reports,
an unanimous donor made the donation for it.
but it's
It
not
might
on
have
the
been a
collector
church member.
reports.
It was on her report, it was on the month after that, or the month before, it was on the one you were looking for.
Because I checked it, and that's why I questioned it, because we were the only ones shown for it.
It was paid.
It was paid.
I think it paid.
So even though we're not using the electricity, we have to pay it just so we have restrooms for the Easter extravaganza, which, you know, it's the most Christian holiday of the year. And the city wants to charge for the use of their community park for this event.
Frank, if I may allow, I don't want to get Christianity involved in this board meeting, but we have to separate ourselves from Christianity. We can't give it to one and charge another one. We can't say you pay, you don't. You know that. We can't even put a crucifix sitting out here in the yard. We don't get involved in religion. That was paid. And you paid just like the same amount of money as went with the church group.
But using the park for a few hours and not using the electricity.
The ordinance is there. That's what it's called. You booked it, you pay for it. That gives you the right to have the provision and have everything. You can't go down there to do what your thing and 10 people there before you have booked it. That's what it's all about. And it was paid for. Now, if you ain't got somebody to donate for your organization, I guess that's bad. Somebody donated who don't want to be known for the church. And it's their prerogative, as long as it shows they've been paid. They paid cash because they didn't want to know. Nobody knows who done it. And they're not going to find out who done it because he has the right to remain anonymous, or she. And your church will, and the church this year, I think they've already got it booked for their annual date. And they will pay. Either they will pay or some donor will pay. But it will be paid. It's the way the ordinance is. It don't specify some organizations don't have to pay and some does.
Like I
What
said,
if some car club wants it and they don't think they want it for 2 hours? They don't think they should have to pay. Because they went to church Sunday morning, I guess, they can come down here and say that they're a religious organization. You can't exempt because of religious organization.
you were saying that because we're providing electricity, there's a charge. You don't need the electricity for the egg hunt and the egg roll. And the egg
When you
roll.
open the bathroom, you use electricity. When you open the pavilion, they can use it. It's there. The bathroom uses electricity. It's part of the ordinance, whether you like it or don't. It's the ordinance. Now you can sit here and play politics, try to get something in the paper that makes us look like we're picking on a church, but it ain't gonna work. Because everybody, me, I rented it last year, I paid. I didn't need the lights, but I did need the bathrooms. That's just the way the ordinance reads. And, you too?
I don't agree.
Well, I knew that.
And it's sad.
Straight,
I have nothing to report.
water and sewer.
Yeah, we got our, first thing I want to report is we got a grant from the Holston Grant for our chlorination, and we received approval for, to proceed with the project. We had to, what we call the honey wagon, which is actually a vacuum tank, we had valves go bad, we had to have that repaired. And the rest is just regular service calls. And our results are good, have been good so far on the water tests.
So the grant's paying for the chlorination,
No, it's not paying for all of it, but we did get a grant to help us.
how much?
15,000.
It said in the audit that we just got that we didn't know how we were going to fund the chlorination project.
Well, that's a long way from funding it. 15,000 ain't gonna be a third of it, or about a third. There's still 30,000 left.
And what's the plan?
We're working on it. When we get one together, we'll be back. We won't spend $30,000 without asking the board. We won't spend $30 without asking the board when it's proper time comes.
We're mandated to do it, we have to, but
No kidding.
it's just that the funding for it, and, you know, I'm looking at the numbers, and as far as, you know, our 10% surplus that we're allowed, and you say we have 0 surplus, and it looks like we're gonna be looking at another rate increase.
Well, wait
Unless
till-
we cut our costs and overhead.
We may have to raise the rate when we get this lawsuit settled and everything else that goes along with this water, because that all goes to the water department. Every bit of it comes out of the water department, so I have no idea how much money we're talking about. And I won't know, and we won't know until the end of the year when we audit the money to how much it is for the 10%. But everybody seems to think it's a joke to waste money around here for certain things. Is that all, Dennis?
That's the end of my report, thank you.
Thank you. Animal control,
Nothing to report.
emergency management,
I want to report that the warning siren at St. Genevieve County Supply, they're going to be putting it up Friday. So they'll be instructing Dennis how to use it. We thank the county for that.
We paid the 1,200, so we have
Well, really,
300 left paid to raise
No, it wasn't.
our budget,
It wasn't 1,200.
1,100.
1,000, it's in the bills, the amount that we paid, the citizens elected. 1,000,
we paid for the phone.
we paid for the poll, 800
No, it was $1,200.
Yeah, it was
We collected $800 some dollars donation.
It was $1,024 and $24, yeah. And we budgeted, we'll go back and amend the budget, we'll fix it. City participation, that's it.
Okay, participation. Citizens. Yeah,
I have a question. It just
you
came up.
know the rule.
I do. I'm Diana Smith on Church Drive. And Dennis, I want some clarification if you don't mind. If we're getting a grant for $15,000 for chlorination, and we still need $30,000, you mentioned that, I think he asked, is all that going to be used on it? And you said not all of it. So why are we not, if it's for chlorination, why are we going to use it somewhere else?
I don't remember
That's-
saying nothing about not using the whole 15,000 on
Well, you said not all of it.
No, they said, that wouldn't pay for it all.
Oh,
15,000
that's
wouldn't
what you
pay
meant.
for it all.
Okay,
That's all they
the way I
said.
heard it was that you would have 15,000 for that, but you're not gonna use it all for that.
Oh, every bit of it's going.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, and when you get a grant for a certain specific thing, that's the only thing you can use.
That's what I,
Right.
Anybody else? Motion to adjourn, be in order.
Motion to adjourn.
I second it.
Motion made, and seconded, all in favor?
Aye.
Vote. Take it. Now, and we got, what time is our?
It's at 3:30.